the Smell Me Helmet Podcast.
How's it going, folks, and welcome to the premiere episode of the Smell Me Helmet Podcast. My name is Danny, and here is my co-host Darren.
And today we're going to talk about the government restrictions
And COVID-19 in general, and how much of an absolute bastard that it is. Also, we have Eddie Hall versus Thor. It's going to be the heaviest boxing match in boxing history, in the history of the world ever. Bigger than David versus Goliath, even though David was an absolute midget, but it is what it is. We also talk about Mike Tyson's comeback fight against Roy Jones, November the 28th. And we're also going to have one UFC.
He was another midget. That's all.
Roy Jones. Yeah, he was a pumped up heavyweight. Listen, he was a great super middleweight. Decent cruiserweight, but let's face it, Mike Tyson.
Big Andy Ruiz Jr. fat facing him.
Wibble. And also we're going to have some the UFC Fight Night that's coming up this Saturday. We're going to have some fight picks. Well, actually 2 fight picks, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I literally just found out about this yesterday. Yeah,
Don't care about the rest.
And to be honest with you, I don't particularly care. Woodley against Covington, because he's an absolute clown. Although I will say this, Woodley's not exactly making a good character for himself either with his the whole BLM thing, and I'm not going to start getting into that because that's just a different kettle of fish altogether. But what I will say is both parties are as bad as each other, and we leave that part there. Also, at the end of it, we have a nice added bonus called Story Time. For those in the know, we'll know. And we'll bring it back to the government restrictions, Darren.
Yeah, I don't know an awful lot about the...
No, in the details, I'm not sure myself, to be brutally honest with you, but I want to talk about it in general, in the sense that how it's affected you in your personal life, and obviously likewise myself. But will you go first?
Yeah, well, it's affected everybody's personal. It affects everybody's personal life. It's like you just have to do what you have to do to get by, really. But
it's a real kind of improvise, adapt, overcome. People are all talking about the new normal. I'm like, I don't want the new normal.
People forget it's easier for adults to adapt to a newer life.
Yeah, of course.
But for kids, it's completely different. And when you have kids coming to you and saying, "Oh God, Daddy, what happens if you get coronavirus and die?" That's the harder part about it. They haven't explained to them that here, a little stupid virus is not going to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm here for a long time.
For a long time, exactly.
There's people out there with underlying illnesses that
are high risk.
Yeah, but really it frustrates when you have these idiots who are marching in town.
Anti-mask.
Yeah, you can smell me helmet. That's what you can
because do. It's right here, folks. It's called the Smell Me Helmet Podcast.
But it's it's frustrating, because this is the reason we were put back on semi-lockdown, if that's what you wanted.
Semi-lockdown.
Yeah, it kind of is and it isn't. It's like them, they're giving you a warning. It's like, here, listen.
It's like a slap in the wrist.
Yeah.
That's what you get for being bold, for being let out to play and running rampant. That's what it's like. We feel like we're bold children being slapped on the wrist.
But then again, you have these people who think that it's this is, we're losing our control, and the government are controlling us.
Come here, Darren. Do you not remember this, when the government were skipping the phase? Because remember, they done like phase 1, phase 2, or wherever the phases were at the time. Yeah. Back in June or May or June, whenever they eased them off. But you remember they skipped the phase. So this is the government's fault.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've actually forgot about that. I forgot
exactly. Yeah. See, I don't forget these things. I know it may look like an elephant sometimes, but I also have the memory of one, and unfortunately for me, I do hold grudges. But
especially against the government. No,
I'm not going to go all mad anti-government.
They're doing what they can. It's
with the cards that they're dealt. But I just feel that the likes of what's the word I'm looking for? Like small business owners. The smaller pubs.
Pubs are being shafted. That's
especially a lot of the smaller pubs, and especially some of the pubs down the country, believe it or not. Yeah. A lot of the kind of family-owned pubs.
But I know the rules, and you can't open pubs. But really, in the country, I'm sure there's there's guards sitting in a pub right now as we speak.
I'm sure Colvin
That's
is
closed.
Colvin is looking around the corner. He's eating his substantial meal. We leave him alone.
I'm gonna get him. Yeah, look,
No, but you know what I mean? It's really like, oh, hey, he's having a meal. It's grand.
it doesn't make a difference.
I'll fuck off over here to this element that has a high risk.
What Leo
illness,
Varadkar
like,
said
you
a
know.
couple of months ago. I can't exactly remember when he said it, but
Yeah,
he did
yeah,
say he's like some of the completely forgetting what I was going to say there. But yeah,
Happens to the best of us.
yeah. No, he did.
If you don't like it, you can smell me helmet.
Yeah.
I know. I'm only messing.
Yeah, no. He said when skills open back up,
Yeah.
there's going to be a spike in the cases. But the government aren't saying it's the skills that's causing the spike, which more than likely it probably is the skills.
Yeah, I think so.
They're blaming it on the pub restaurants who.
The pub restaurants, you know, were open way before the skills, and there was no spikes.
That's very true.
You know, so I couldn't see where they couldn't have opened, and I hate using this term, wet pubs.
Soaking.
So I just, I just have terrible thoughts, dirty, damp wet pubs. No, those are no. But like, I never called it a wet pub; I just called it a pub. You know, that served alcohol. I presume the whole wet pub thing is like it's just drinks like only, you know.
But so when everything opens back up again, will you call it wet pubs
Or just a pub.
or a pub restaurant? You know the way
Exactly. Yeah. See,
it's gonna be a pub.
I think it's just gonna be the new normal.
If they had I don't even know why people are so pushed on the pub. Like it's. Come on.
I like, don't get me wrong. I like to have a drink, an old Guinness just as much as the next person, but I never went out every week. It's only for the fact that I haven't been to an actual proper pub since the 7th of March.
And I guarantee you, it's the people who are giving out who never went out every week about the pubs being closed.
It's only, and you know what, like, if anything, I should be giving out. But I don't, because I don't think the pub is the be all and end all. It's nice. It was something I used to do every other week or whatever, but it's not the be all and end all.
They could have shut the off licenses.
Oh.
And that would have been a completely different ball.
You want Armageddon on the streets?
Yeah.
Shut the off
everywhere.
licenses in Ireland. You will see Armageddon on the streets. Yeah. Born and babies now. Dark.
Yeah.
Not that it's actually gonna happen. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to think of the most stone gaff. Everyone's drinking stone gaff, mugging each other and all for the stone gaff. The stone house side.
We kind of went off a bit.
No. Keep going. Go.
Yeah. But what do you think of Leo Varadkar getting?
I seen that earlier on Facebook.
Or a coffee, or whatever.
He got a coffee thrown at him, right? And I'm not Leo Varadkar's biggest fan, and I'm sure you're not either, Darren, right? Yeah. But what I will say is, he didn't deserve that.
No. And then people saying it should be acid.
I've seen disgusting comments on Facebook of people saying, "Oh, it should have been acid. He should have got a bullet." I'm like, really?
At the end of the day, no matter what people say about him, when he was the Taoiseach, he done what he could do. He was doing the best job.
The best job he could, right? But come here, I will say this. Michael Martin himself, yeah. I'm sorry, but listening to him is like listening to a doddery old priest or a Sunday mass or a mass or whatever.
Or in his confession box.
Hello,
now, children.
You know what I mean?
Are you?
I feel like I need to scrub myself after listening to him talk, you know.
Today's announcement. It's stop that.
It's very priest-like.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's very kind of.
He actually looks like he's a grafter for children. Like he
groomer for children.
I didn't want to say groomer.
He's a groomer.
Yeah, dirty, smelly.
We don't hold back here in the Smell Me Helmet podcast. It's in the name.
Yeah,
it's in the name.
Smelly.
Or just as I said, I'm sorry. As much as I'm not a fan of Leo, I feel that he was definitely more entertaining anyway.
Well,
with his movie quotes.
Yeah. What was one of them?
Lord of the Rings or something.
Yeah,
what
was
the other one? Terminator.
Terminator. That's it. Yeah.
There's no faith for what we make and all. I'm like, bitch, that was fucking Terminator.
People are giving him credit for that. Why are they giving him credit? Why don't they give his writer credit? The person who was writing them speeches for him.
Wrote the script, yeah.
However you are, one day we'll have you on the podcast and you can talk to us.
Should get royalties for that shit. I'm just saying. But then again, you probably owe money to what James Cameron and what's your man's name, Peter Jackson did Lord of the Rings. Rip off bastards. But we're gonna just move on from that now because we're kind of just slagging people off here,
and that's not what this is about.
It is what it's about, yeah. Darren. Come on, but we don't want to just be ripping them an new arse.
Well, the moral of the story is Micheál Martin's a gobshite.
And that's the bottom line because we said so.
I believe before we go and talk about something deadly, I believe that I would have liked to see Mary Lou McDonald
Oh yeah,
Be the first female Taoiseach in the history of Irish politics.
Well, I vote for it.
Now, don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm 99.1% sure that it's the first female Taoiseach.
Well, I've never seen any female Taoiseach, Darren. I've seen Mary Robinson was the first president.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and back in the
I think so. But she's clever. She's playing. She's playing. Her cards are close to her chest.
Yes.
She knew she didn't want to come into this in this like we're going to be in the worst recession of history.
History, yeah, definitely, 100%.
It's going to be worse than 2007, 2006, was it?
2008.
2008. It's going
late 2008 to 2009.
It's going to be worse than that.
Yeah,
100% sure. I was reading something the other day about it's going a bit over. Look, it's going off a bit, but I'm going to talk about it anyway.
Yeah, go on.
Boris Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Someone, one of his little cronies said it's going to be one of the worst recession for Britain in Britain's history. Ever. And Britain's at the leaving Europe and they're screwed. There's no one to bail these out. But where do we get most of our stuff from?
EU.
Do you know what I mean?
So we kind of, in a way, we kind of have a bit of a safety net.
Yeah.
But then again, our grandchildren.
But we also, most of our stuff are imported from the UK.
From the UK as well. And that's going to be, and
then if you want a hard border.
But see, it's going to be manned by us, it's going to be manned by the Irish government. That's what I heard anyway. I read it somewhere.
Well, we can hope that. Because no offence to the English, we don't want that to do this.
We don't want a hard border.
Yeah. You can stay where you are.
We don't anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to swiftly move on here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the heaviest boxing match in boxing history. We have Eddie the Beast Hall versus Thor Bjornsson, or Thor the Mountain from Game of Thrones. What is your take on what you've read up on it so far, Darren?
What I read up on it so far, your man Thor is an absolute goon.
Arse clown.
Yeah, like it's
big crybaby if you ask me.
It's like playground behaviour. It's like, it's really like, oh, we can do this better. Just get over yourself. Take a look at man. It just shows what type of person he is to take. What did he done it in his gym, was it?
Yeah, how was he? I'm gonna have to do a bit of rewinding here. This all started at the 2017 World Strongest Man Championship, the event there, the competition, and there was an event on it called the Viking Press, and those who are familiar with strongman know that you can't do what's called double dipping, where you can't basically lift with your knees and your shoulder. The whole idea of a Viking press is to press it over your head, military press fashion, like over your head in like one single movement with your shoulders. But he was using his knees, which is called double dipping, and the referee disallowed a few of them, a few of the reps, and the ref was actually very lenient.
Yeah, that was 2017, wasn't it?
2017, yeah, exactly. The ref was very lenient. He actually could have disallowed a few more,
but he didn't.
But he didn't because beforehand there was like an outtake. I think it was like a YouTube video, like an outtake, or even like a pre-show sort of where the referee in question, I can't remember his name, so excuse me. No, he's actually he's a nice bloke. He's just doing his job. But that's what it was. Thor had said to him, "I want to show you my technique," and obviously he'd okayed it with the referee and whatever else, and then obviously they did the competition and did that particular event, the Viking Press, and basically Eddie Hall got more than he did.
Yeah.
But obviously that wasn't the end of it. Obviously there was a couple of more events after that, but I think there was 2 or 3 points, correct me, sorry if I get this wrong, but this is just all from memory. 2 or 3 reps, points, in the difference that with Eddie Hall winning it. And you know what Thor said, and I was saying to myself, Jesus, talk about melodramatic. It's like losing my baby daughter or something, losing a child or a child. I was like, really?
Has he got kids?
I don't know. I don't think he does.
I don't think so. He doesn't know what it's. How can you say that?
I don't. Yeah. Just now again, there's people out there going, yeah, he does have kids. You're being dopey or whatever. You know what I mean?
He's an idiot. He's irrelevant.
But come here. But anyway, right? He's surrounded by yes men. He is surrounded by yes men because he's been in Game of Thrones. And don't get me wrong, right? big fan of Game of Thrones here, right? And that's how I actually became a fan of his, was because of that. But then I seen his behaviour, and obviously I watched World's Strongest Man events and
personality and stuff.
And his personality.
But see, the only reason how I know about him, I look, come here, Eddie Hall. He's arguably the famous strongest man in the last decade.
He's the most charismatic strongman I've ever seen. Like, there's just, you know, the way you hear people saying they have what's called that it factor. That's something where when somebody walks in the room, everybody turns around and looks at them.
Yeah, that's him.
He has it. If you could bottle that and sell it, you would be a trillionaire.
Yeah, no.
100%. He just has that special something. Glint in his eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
something special. Something.
There's something normal about him. He's not arrogant.
No.
But you can tell by
he's confident.
Thor's
is a.
He's an arsehole.
He's a big child.
Yeah.
He's a big spoiled child.
Like, it's gonna be a great boxing match.
Is that what you want to call it?
Well, yeah, a boxing match. There'll probably be no technique at all.
Well, come here. I will say this. I've watched some, little footage I've seen of Thor, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Either he's not doing all the stuff in his videos to try and make it look like he's not as good, or he's just not as good. But Eddie, on the other hand, he's looking lean, and he's looking most definitely mean.
Sure, he had to up his calories, didn't he? Because he
wants to make, you see, because he's doing so much cardio, and obviously you know and I know from our boxing days, like many years ago. When you're boxing training, you sweat buckets.
Yeah.
You sweat buckets, and you will lose weight just merely boxing training alone. So when you're trying to maintain that mass, that size, but still get your cardio up, and you know your body.
Yeah, you basically
get ring fit, but also maintain size, because your Thor's a monster, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's all it is. He looks
6'7".
Who, Thor?
Thor is
6'9", is he? Or could be 6 foot, 6'7" and 6'9". He's
well.
He's tall as fuck anyway.
Yeah. So, and Eddie Hall is 6'2", 6'3".
He's 6'2", Eddie Hall.
6'2".
6'2". Not the tallest strong man. That's why he even said himself, like, you know, he found it hard to maintain all that when he was at his heaviest for the strongman events. You know, especially the 2017 World's Strongest Man. He was at his biggest. Like, Jesus, But you're going. Sorry.
But when you think about it, right? So it's the heaviest, the heaviest boxing match in history.
The heaviest boxing match in boxing history.
In
history.
Yeah.
Not scratch that. Not boxing history.
The beast is about 25.5 stone.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm 25.5.
Yeah.
And Thor is about 30 stone.
30 stone, easy.
So we put that together. That's 55.5 stone. In a ring.
Let's hold.
Are they gonna do it like on the beach or something? Because what ring is gonna hold that?
Well, they're obviously gonna have a ring. They're gonna see. They're gonna have this. Most definitely, specially construct that and reinforce it.
Yeah.
To hold that size. And especially, I hope they have strong enough ropes as well.
Yeah.
They'll need lift cables, like elevator cables.
I guarantee you, somebody's coming through the ropes, because they're not gonna go in and they're gonna just collide.
It's not gonna be the sweet science.
Yeah, it's no.
What?
Sorry, that's what the fans want. They don't want people going in there.
Do you know what it is? It's like the Clash of the Titans. It's like fucking Godzilla versus King Kong. Do you know what I mean?
It's like two fucking hippos going at it. No disrespect. No, don't mean that.
Two hippos. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't
matter.
matter. Two rhinos.
I mean,
two rhinos going head to head.
Head on, man. It's gonna be great.
I actually have goosebumps. Not gonna lie. That's had to give me goosebumps.
I'm only into this because of you. I've always been I've always watched bits. I've never been like, you know yourself, but I've only started to watch bits.
I've opened your eyes to it.
But your man, thanks. your man Thor.
Yeah.
There's an Icelandic ex boxer. Now I could say this name, Arseways. Right.
It's Icelandic, so
yeah. Skúli or Skúli, say. Yeah.
Skúli. I'm
Skúli. It's Skuli or something.
We'll call him Skúli because it sounds very Dublin is.
Yeah, Skúli.
Starry Skúli only.
Alright, boys. Yeah.
Starry Skúli. How'd you manage that, Wogan?
Skúli. He's the first ever pro Icelandic boxer.
Right. Okay.
And apparently Thor is getting tips off him.
Well, yeah.
But I've tried to find who Eddie Hall's getting tips off. And I've
seen videos now.
I
don't know your man's name.
And the only reason how I know Thor is through McGregor sparring him anyway. Because I'm a
Well,
big UFC fan.
Come here, listen.
And obviously I heard of Game of Thrones, but back then when McGregor sparred him, Game of Thrones was big, but it's not the way it is now.
Yeah.
Do you know? So I that's only how I know him. And seeing him trying to maul McGregor and stuff, like, no, stop that.
McGregor, do you remember in the video, McGregor was just body shotting him and moving around, sticking him moving, wearing him down.
And that's probably why the Beast. That's probably why he's leaning down to be a bit faster. He doesn't want to go in there and get his head taken off. He's competitive. Look what he does. He wants to win, and I'm sure Thor wants to win.
Two of them are competitors, bar none.
And it's going to be interesting.
It's a different world. But there was something that Eddie said before when he was starting off this boxing journey, and he goes, I want to, because he was in contact with a couple of people he knew from the boxing world and stuff, through his time in doing World's Strongest Man and just being a celebrity and stuff like that, and he made it his point to say, listen, I don't want to disrespect or insult boxing. I want to give it the proper respect that it deserves. I never heard Thor saying that like that.
Because he's selfish. It's
because he's a big selfish.
Yeah, that's what it is. But that's exactly what that is. But yeah, the Beast, Eddie Hall. I like him. I don't know where I heard this, but I heard it somewhere. I don't know whether I was seeing a video on YouTube or something. It was something about I don't know if he was talking about you could lift a car, or he lifted a car.
Was it? I don't know the one you're talking about.
I can't remember. It's something.
Was that the one when he said he was going to?
He thought of his kid or something.
Psychiatrist. It was to do with the deadlift. The 500 kilo, the half-ton deadlift. Yeah. That's what he said. He said that when he was getting his mind right, because he was onto like psychiatrists and stuff like that. Because you know the whole story. You hear stories of mothers and obviously fathers as well, in car accidents, and they're pulling.
You get Mongo
cars. For lack of a better term, Mongo strength. Like,
no, don't mean to be.
No, disrespectful. Like, but it's just the only way. Yeah. Well, if you piss any of us off enough, you'll get it. Trust me. Especially when any children's lives are in danger, especially if they're your own.
Or if someone tries to do something on a family member and you come running out of nowhere and just clothesline them. That's what happens.
And take their head clean off. I'm just saying we heard that happen.
I heard somebody on that before. It was
Bradshaw,
a bit like chunk out of Goonies, when you run at the door.
Oh, that's Slot, sorry. Sorry.
Go.
That whole thing, it's like, when your child is trapped under a car, you could be the 90-pound weakling, but you will pull that car off your child.
Fucking sure, yeah, of course.
And this is how powerful the mind is, and that's what that psychiatrist told them. Like, he had to dehypnotise them and stuff like that, And it was real, like, get your mind and get them into that mindset. So he had his crew, his crew around him, doing all the stuff for him, getting his shit ready for him while he was getting himself into that mindset. And he said when he did the lift, when he lifted up and he was at the top of the lift, he snapped over. And if you look at the video, you see him kind of his eyes opening, because remember his eyes were closed.
Yeah.
And then he opened them and his nose was bleeding because the blood vessels of the pressure from the lift, because it's half a fucking ton down.
He's still done it though.
But that's what I'm saying. He opened up. He's like, I got this. Like,
it's
in the moment. I'm actually getting goosebumps. How rapid that was.
When you can see how passionate he is in what he does.
That's why it's infectious.
That's why people love him. It's because he's really passionate.
Yeah.
It's the same with Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
It's why people love him, and I don't mean to keep going back to Conor McGregor, but it's the same as him. People either love him or hate him. People will buy his fights to watch him.
Although I will say this, Darren. Now, I'm not talking about the whole, sexual allegations, claims and stuff like that. That's just...
Yeah,
that's just, I think, to be honest with you, I think that's just people looking for a payday.
You don't know enough about it.
We don't know enough about it, but what I've seen online, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like, people are just, adding their own 2 cents to it. And
that's what people, when you're in this, see, he needs to remember, he's not just this normal lad from Crumlin anymore.
He's still going on like that, though.
Yeah.
He needs someone to...
And in a sense, if he does, and that's what his partner was doing, but obviously she wasn't with him during the night when he flashed his bits or whatever he done.
Well, of course not. That's why he flashed his bits.
But that could
because she wasn't around.
Well, you probably fucking do if she was there.
He's a mad cunt.
It's when you think of it, it's kind of like the I wouldn't say Irish sense of humour, because not all Irish are like that.
But the majority, you know,
But it's-
the
if
real,
you're with your-
the
yeah.
lads.
Look at the lads. You know, like,
Look at the lads.
yeah, that's just it. Like, I mean, like if I'm out with my friends and one of my friends is going to the queue because apparently she walked into the Jacks that he was in.
Oh, so I was in it. See, I don't know all the details.
Now, I don't know 100%. Like, I'm not. I could be wrong, but apparently she walked into the Jacks, looked who it was with his bodyguards, and she made a little statement that she knew a famous person was coming because a lot of bodyguards came before and
the
all
plot
that crap.
thickens.
So he people are giving him bait, and he's still doing what he's doing. He's like, he's flashing. Yeah, you don't flash a woman.
It was like the whole thing with the phone with your man that time. Remember, your man had the phone in his face and he slapped it out of his hand and smashed his phone.
But can you blame him if you want to enjoy with your family or
your
with
personal time
yeah.
or whatever? But that's the thing when you're that famous.
That's
Darren.
what comes with it.
When you're that, you like, people are going to turn around and like, you know, are going to say, yeah, fair enough, you know, try and, you know, give somebody that privacy. But when you're that famous,
Yeah.
you know yourself.
But see, even Dana White I was
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
something the other day where he was talking, and he said he went for a drink with him after the Cerrone fight.
Right.
Him and remember they used to own the UFC.
It's the Fertitta.
Yeah.
Lorenzo and
Yeah.
the other brother.
It was Lorenzo who was there. They used
Lorenzo and the other brother.
the other fella who
Can't think of his name. Sorry, Lorenzo's brother.
Other brother. Yeah, he went out for a drink, and he remembers when Conor was coming up, he was thinking, God, he's going to waste all his money on security guards. He never realised how much he needed the security guards. Like, Conor isn't just a normal Joe Soap anymore, and he needs to get that out of his head.
Yeah.
He's a normal in his head he can be a normal Joe Soap with loads of money, but you can't act like
That's
that.
not going to gel well.
You can't
Darren,
act like
it's not.
You can't.
Great.
Anyway, we'll move on now to the next one. And we went kind of a bit off there.
Yeah,
didn't we?
no.
But
But
sure.
see, this is the thing. Like, obviously, fair enough, we have segments,
Yeah.
but there will be times where something will pop into your head and we just go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. So.
This is what we do, and if you don't like it, smell me helmet.
Exactly.
Because it's what we do. We're talking about Mike Tyson's comeback fight.
Yeah.
28th of
28th.
November. It was supposed to be the 12th of September, but it
tomorrow.
was tomorrow, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
meant to be tomorrow. That would have been.
No, that was last week.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, my week behind.
Yeah. So it's all right. We'll blame your job on that.
Yeah.
We blame your job on that. But yeah, just the Mike Tyson comeback. I seen the videos. I seen him on the Joe Rogan Experience.
It's not funny.
I seen him. Him and Joe. Everyone who's seen the podcast knows exactly what we're talking about here. And that's thought was gas. You know, him and Joe were talking. Joe would piss himself laughing at something, and Tyson's like, "That's not funny." And Joe,
straight away,
down on Vel, couldn't have thought to.
It was
Shut the fuck up.
Like he was a bold kid.
It's like a bold child being told to shut up by his dad, and that's exactly what he done.
Well, you wouldn't answer Tyson back, would you?
Of course you're not.
No, definitely not.
100% you're not. It's like sitting beside a tiger.
Especially with that look in his eye. When you see that, the fire, that's what it is, fire. He's
Now, obviously, the 2 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience that I've seen him on, it's like night and day. The previous one where, you know, he was, you know,
all mellow.
And you know, looking to smoke his way and talking about Tyson Ranch and talking about Tyson Ranch and all that stuff, and he's just talking about just, you know, I don't want. He was saying I don't want to stoke the ego and inflame the gods of war,
because he knew
he knew if he stoked his ego, that other side of him will come back,
and it
the
did.
pitbull, the beast.
But when I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, it was his wife who said, "Go back on the treadmill for 15 minutes."
That's how it started.
And
Name his wife.
Name his wife. And then 15 minutes led to 2 hours or something. He was saying something along them lines.
Yeah.
But he looks good.
Come here.
He's gonna. Listen. I think he's gonna bash Roy Jones.
Come here. Listen to me.
No disrespect.
Listen, Roy Jones.
Love you and all, but
I respect your accomplishments. You are up there, one of the best ever to do it.
yeah.
But you're not Mike Tyson.
Weren't they supposed to fight in 2003?
It fell through. Something happened.
Because Tyson was finished.
I think I think Tyson finished in 2005. Was it?
Did he?
Was that the
Oh,
one
could be
against
wrong, no.
Iman McBride, Kevin McBride? Was it?
probably. The last fight I
George
actually
Valente.
watched with Tyson was Danny Williams.
I think that would have been the fight before.
I
his last
remember
fight.
that. Look, I was in Portugal, and
Danny Williams. Yeah, I forgot about that fight.
I was over in Portugal with my man and dad at the time, and I remember, like, even then.
Was that 04? Was it?
It was around. I was only a kid.
Yeah.
I
remember. Sorry, cutting you off. I remember because I started hanging around with Mick at the time. Big shout out to Mick there. Yeah.
Boys!
McBalls.
Yeah, no.
Me brother from another mother. But yeah,
And he'll be on the podcast soon.
special guest. But yeah, just back to the Danny Williams fight you were talking about.
2004. It could have been around then. I think I might have that.
Was it Danny Williams in that he was fighting someone else and he dislocated the shoulder?
I think so.
And he came back and won the fight. Was it that Danny Williams?
I think so.
Was that? I'm nearly sure that was Danny Williams. It would have been around that time.
Yeah,
mid 2000s, I think.
I do think, yeah. I think
But I'm nearly
that
sure.
rings a bell, but
Danny, because I remember seeing something on YouTube and I've seen myself, that's your man that fought Tyson in one of his last fights.
yeah, no.
But fair play to him though.
Danny, what I was saying about being
Yeah.
a Portugal, that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Even though Tyson was, would you say he was out of his prime in that fight? I'd say he was well out of his.
Tyson, the thing is though, the fire in his belly had gone.
Yeah, he didn't love doing what he did.
He was, Tyson was following in, going through the motions.
Yeah,
I think after that Lewis fight in 2002, he just...
but even in the Lewis fight, he wasn't himself.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just, that was the Lewis fight was the beginning of the end.
Would you imagine Tyson, 95 Tyson, say,
95, 96
fighting Lennox Lewis in his prime?
would have been a different fight.
Or he would have steamrolled him.
Would have been a different fight.
He would have steamrolled him. Now, don't get me wrong, Lennox Lewis is deadly.
Listen, there's a reason why Lennox Lewis was the champion as well.
Yeah, he was really. He was just a basic. He all he had. I mean, I wouldn't say all he had is a jab. That would be horrible. That would be a horrible way to put it.
No. Let me say this.
He was a better version of Klitschko. That's
Lennox Lewis was a killer,
Yeah.
deadlier, more rapider
Yeah.
version
Yeah.
of Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko was jab, grab,
Yeah.
move around, robotic.
And Tyson
That's why
Fury,
he did. And Tyson Fury is Tyson motherfucking Fury.
Yeah, he's deadly. Yeah. Like he went in there. No one believed him. He was a complete underdog.
Back then, I wasn't his biggest fan.
No, I didn't like him.
Because I'm sorry. I didn't understand his background and his struggles with the mental health and stuff like that. Though
I didn't like him because I didn't like the stupid carry on outfit.
I thought it was a time
with the Batman suit, and I felt like
it was around that time. Yeah,
it was real like, yeah, disrespecting one. Look, come here, listen. I wasn't Klitschko's biggest fan either.
No.
The two of them are robots. They're just stiff and they just want to, you know.
Klitschko brothers,
like
Vladimir Vitaly.
That's just their. It's just how they done things, and it worked for them for years.
Yeah, of course it worked, but it doesn't sell tickets, Darren.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's the bottom line.
They only
Literally,
fought
spent the money.
in Germany, so Tyson Fury went to Germany and skilled them at his own game.
For 12 rounds.
Yeah, for 12 rounds, skilled him and won, and then he got depressed, and then he went off the
But
rails.
see, he was depressed before that.
and
why
I'd
he was hiding, you see.
say that whole Batman thing was to hide it. Was to like he didn't want to go in there and look all down, so he had to put on this show. He had to act.
It was
Yeah.
almost like, now looking back on it now and knowing what we know about him, it was almost like he was trying to convince himself that he was well.
That's it. Yeah,
That was the whole charade with the Batman thing and the whole loudmouth stuff. That was a game face.
yeah, but he wasn't. You could say it, like.
But sure, didn't he have a cut death or stillbirth?
His
Wife Paris
Yeah, I
had
think
lost
so.
a
That
child or
rings a
something.
bell, alright.
Yeah, I remember reading, because I have his book there, and I remember reading that part about it. So I think he never dealt with that.
Yeah,
So that definitely had an effect on him. I'd imagine. That
everything
and
in
other
life
things.
has an effect on you.
Yeah,
Everything in life has an
100%.
effect. Some people deal with things differently.
And some people package it in, and
Yeah.
then it comes back to haunt you at a later date or manifest
Same when
itself.
we're on the subject of mental health.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
And even now with the
And Mike Tyson being another prime example as well.
well, he was crazy. He like
He admits himself. He said on Joe Rogan that time. Few times.
there's a difference between Tyson Fury and Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah.
Tyson Fury, Mike Tyson was he was batshit crazy. There's no like. He didn't care about anyone. He didn't care about any other human.
If you came from where he came from and
You'd
who he
understand.
was raised by, 100%.
But like Tyson Fury was in a different sort of the depression.
Yeah, that was to do with like that was nothing to do with his upbringing at all.
I know, I
It
wouldn't
was
say
nothing
so.
was nothing to do
But
with his upbringing, but
With travellers, there's a lot of pressure on travellers.
yeah,
Like, where
To
you have to be all bravado. And
the
you
bravado, the tough man.
But when you actually, people are afraid of that. There's no need to be afraid of that, because when you actually talk to them, you can see that it is an act.
Yeah.
Like there's
100%.
people are too easily to judge people. As you say,
I was too quick to judge.
Yeah, don't judge.
I was too quick to judge. I was.
Don't-
I'm guilty of that. Put my hand up.
Don't judge a book by its cover,
Yeah.
as they say. And that's the problem nowadays with the traveller community.
Mm-hmm.
It's people are judging them for. Listen, they have to go out and make a living. If they knock at your door and they want to sell you a carpet, let them be. They're not doing anything wrong. I know. Listen, now
Now some of them are very pushy though.
yeah, but you have to
putting
tell
their foot in the door.
but you have to be
As assertive as
yeah.
they are, back at them.
You
But not be
no.
horrible
You
either.
just
though.
tell them, your grand. Look, well, that's how I deal with it. Maybe that's probably a bit too. But look,
No,
the
but-
other day I had this traveller fella knock at my door and tell me
Okay.
he was walking on my neighbour's down the road.
The driveway
yeah,
or something.
painting the windows and stuff.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I was like, right, I was a bit paranoid thinking, what's this fucker up there?
Is he trying to
Yeah,
case out
so
the
I goes,
house?
oh yeah, show me. I walked down with him and he showed me. So then I was like, oh yeah. I goes, no, you're all right, sure. You're grand, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that won't be you, brazen though.
But see, that's how you act with them.
But I'd say he respected you more for that.
Yeah,
For doing
he
that.
probably
though.
did, but there's,
If he did or he didn't,
it
whatever.
doesn't
Like,
fucking
you know what I mean?
matter.
It
I'm
doesn't
just
matter,
saying,
but-
people are too easy to judge, and they paint everyone with the same brush. We get it ourselves from where we come
Come here,
from.
listen, I get it myself.
You use your address, and because it's not Dublin 4 or
Fuck.
yeah, you kind of looked upon. Now I was for years I wouldn't change my address. No way. I remember my ma telling me, oh, you just put North Strand on it. No.
Instead of Ballybock, like, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, or I was like, no way. This is where I come from, and I'm proud to come from here. And there's a lot of people out there like that. But some people think, oh no, I have to. Sure, like it'd be like if you come from Flatsmout, like Ballybock House, or whatever, Rings End, or no,
Whatever, yeah.
if you remove that house, I'd love to do something with a CV where you put house or not like or the same. Do you know what I mean?
I had two different CVs with the same address on both, but house was removed from one of them.
And you probably got more replies because house was removed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
That just explains it.
People now, I know people will say like, oh, there's a thing with ageism and racism and whatever, but nobody ever talks about classism.
Yeah, and
Classes
that's
of
actually
people.
a thing.
It's actually a thing, but people want to sweep it under the carpet. I know we're kind of going off the beaten track here, but you know, as I said, we kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
And we want this to be. We want to talk about issues that people want to, get insight and hear about and get insight about as well. And people are like, oh, that happens to me too, and
Yeah, it happens to
wherever,
everybody.
you know? Especially around this neck of the woods, you know.
It happens to everybody at some stage in their life where they're discriminated against. No matter who you are, you're black, you're white, you're purple, whatever colour you're at.
Yellow, red, whatever.
It's gonna happen. But we don't. Like, how can, do you know what I want to go into
You're
that?
trying to word it.
Yeah, I'll leave that for a different time. I'll think about that one more.
You're getting passionate.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's because it's where I come from. It's where we come
where
from.
we come from. Yeah, 100%.
And it's annoying because I have a decent job. But it took me years to get a
Oh,
decent
but
job.
you worked hard for
I
them.
had to work hard for it.
Yeah, but you
And
got
I
it.
have friends. I have a friend who was an electrician.
Yeah.
And it took him ages to get a job. Now, don't get me wrong, he was a bit of an idiot. And, and he knows that himself, but he's one of my best friends. No one else can call him an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
But
only you.
yeah, but he is a bit of an idiot, and he did. And I have another friend who was a manager in some place. Well, he was a manager. I don't know what he's doing now. But it shows you when you put the graft in, you'll get where you want to be. If you want to be a boxer, or you want to be a footballer, you put the graft in, you're gonna get there.
You want to be a mixed martial artist?
Yeah, you get there. You will get there. It might take time.
What's that visualization?
Yeah, it's an uphill battle, but you get there in the end.
Yeah,
and that's all I'll say on that because I don't want to get way too
yeah,
passionate.
but come here, we'll actually just finish off about Mike Tyson though.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, we were saying about Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. It's in, I'm gonna use air quotes here, quotation marks, whatever you want to call them, exhibition. But I'm gonna call it an execution.
That's not an exhibition.
It's an execution. It's an XR, but it's an execution.
I think Mike Tyson as well. He wants to see if he can do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come back and.
No, he does want to come back and fight. No,
he was offered Tyson Fury. Did you hear him?
I'm sure he was, but I don't even think he'd do it though.
He was also offered that big Mongo Bob Sapp.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I heard about that.
Tyson would punch him in the face and he'd whimper into the corner like what he does in most of his fights.
Well, that's what he did because he was taking a payday.
What did he fight in?
He was fighting in Pride.
That's
Pride fighting championship in Japan. But come here though, right? I know again. We're doing this again. The whole Pride thing. What happened there was because that was run by the Japanese Yakuza, the mafia.
Steroids and all.
Yeah. But come here. There was no testing.
Yeah.
There's no testing, and you were worked fights, no, like wrestling, like pro wrestling.
What do you worked?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Bam Bam Bigelow fought a fella called Chemo back in 95 or 90.
yeah.
I can't remember. The
I heard of that.
But no, but Bam Bam Bigelow talked about it in a show interview. He said himself, he goes, because I think it was actually Paul Heyman. Actually, this is way back then, because I think that's what it was. Bam Bam was in ECW, and Paul Heyman had a contact in Japan, one of the show fighting thing, the promotions, and he basically said, listen, MMA fight, worked, so he's like, yeah, but obviously he got it. But he's a businessman. Bam Bam's a businessman.
I'd say you got a serious payday for that though.
Listen, if you look at the fight, you can actually see it, because Bam Bam told him, listen, hit me a few punches across the top of the head, the eyes, don't hit me the nose or the mouth. He hits him a few punches around the top, and then he grabs him in the rear naked, and then he taps out.
Well, that's if you have to make a few bob for yourself.
But see, that's how crooked Japan is, though.
Yeah.
Doing worked show fights like MMA fights.
I'd love to know how much he actually got for it.
Oh, it was a good.
Back in the day,
couple of hundred grand.
That would have been a lot.
But see, he was a big name in Japan because he wrestled in Japan previously. Bam Bam did, so he could charge that amount.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He was the highest paid jobber, as they call it.
You would know a hell of a lot more from.
I would, from that part, I'd know.
But all I remember was The Rock, because he was deadly,
If you smell.
I used to. The fat Rock's hero.
Fat Rock's hero. Back when you were a kid.
Little fat hick jumping up ladders. Danny! Mom, down watch wrestling on Sky 1. Do you remember that like that?
20 years ago.
Yeah. Going with a hangover, now we go back on.
We just finished on Mike Tyson, but come here, listen. It's not going to be an exhibition, it's going to be an execution. Again, no disrespect to Roy Jones, but Mike Tyson isn't going in there tippity-tapping, let's take a hammer easy there, yeah? Sorry.
Yeah, not happening.
And Roy Jones knows this. He knows this. And obviously he's going to do his darndest to stay out of the way of his punches, because that's what he did. That's what he used to do back in his day, slipping the punches and stuff. But Tyson...
He's still quick, he still has that.
But see, he's still active.
Yeah, 2016, 17 was
still active. Way more active than Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson has.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not throwing him under the bus as such, but listen.
Yeah, no, Tyson hasn't fought in years.
As Rocky said in the last Rocky Balboa film, not the Craic films, there's still some stuff in the basement. There's still a fire in his belly, and there's a fire in that man's eyes. Mike Tyson. Yeah,
you were right. Kevin McBride. That was his
last fight. That's when he went.
That was in 2005.
That's what I'm saying. That was his last fight in 2005. Yeah.
So you must be right about the 2004 with Danny Williams. I think so.
Oh no, that was before.
Did I finish that story about Danny Williams in Portugal?
No, he didn't actually.
No. Yeah, right. So I was there. I was there with me man there, and I remember I want to watch the fight still. I remember
probably one of the pubs.
I always loved boxing, right? But even though Tyson was out of his prime. And
thanks to me, by the way.
Yeah. even though Tyson was kind of finished with boxing then, there was still people.
Still a name.
Oh, the street was full of people.
Still
in Portugal.
That's the thing.
And I remember. Do you know what makes you remember it is because the coppers over there. I remember them walking down the road with guns, and I was a kid. Look, it was a kid, and I was amazed because the
looking at them and all.
The people we have guarding us aren't police.
They're guards. Street security guards.
Yeah, and they're called guards for a reason, and that's the reason why they haven't got guns. Yeah, but these people had fucking battens down to their ankle, from the hip to their ankle, and guns, and I couldn't believe it. I was amazed because you were kid. Here, nobody stepped out in line with them.
Of course not.
No, you were gonna get that batten to the teeth.
Would you?
Probably not. No. Probably
not even now. Like
no, piss myself. Sorry, don't do that to me.
Sorry there, Garda. Sorry there, Portuguese Garda.
What do you say, you fat tick?
Fat all of you. UFC Fight Night.
Oh, that's tomorrow, the 19th of November.
Joe, we're just going to go with 2 fights.
Yeah, as we said at the start.
My Xbox controller. We have it up on the screen here. You can't see it because it's audio, not video.
Yeah.
We have Donald Cerrone versus Nico Price. And we also have Colby Covington versus Tyrone. Is it Tyrone?
Tyrone.
Well, it's not Tyrone.
No, it's
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone Woodley. Yeah.
Right, I know everyone's going to say, oh, but there's more than them 2 fights. Yeah, but I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about your man Chimiev and Gerald Mearshart, because it sounds a bit shitty.
Yeah. I think Dana White and the UFC are highly disrespecting Gerald.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this actually when he told me before we started recording that he double booked Chimiev.
He's fighting, I think it's a month later, he's fighting Damian Maia.
Well, I hope he gets bashed.
Sorry for cutting over you.
Go.
Damian Maia will You'll actually put him in his back pocket.
He'll time in and all.
Yeah, and there's not a thing he's going to do about it. Do you know who I would have loved to see him fight, actually?
The only thing you'll be able to do about it is enjoy it.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to enjoy these things.
Exactly, slowly.
But they should have gave him Gunnar
Nelson?
Yeah, that's who they should have given him before Damien White.
Is he still going?
I think so. I think
Is he still
I'm
going?
sure he's still in the UFC.
Is he still under contract?
Ah,
I just haven't seen Anna about in a
I
while,
think
so
so.
I'm not sure.
I think he fought a couple of last month, 2 months ago.
Did he?
I think
See,
so. I don't even know if he won or not. So
we probably shouldn't go into that now.
Yeah.
We should probably know a bit more about stuff, but anyway, we'll talk about Cerrone and Price.
What I will say is Nico Price has hands.
Oh yeah, hammer fist to be exact.
Yeah, as you know, if the Donald Cerrone turns up that fought McGregor, he's gonna be gone.
He's
after
gonna
the
be
first
beaten
punch.
by Nico Price, but
I love Donald Cerrone.
oh come here, listen, love Cerrone, 100%. A lot of time from.
Don't know a
That's
lot
me,
about. I don't know a lot about Nico Price. I know he's decent. He has
Oh well, come here. What we've seen of him, he has obviously except his last fight. He got bashed in his last fight, but what I'm saying is, two of them are coming off losses. So this is a fight of redemption.
Yeah, but he has got hands. And did
hands.
you see that? Who? I don't know, was it Bobby Green?
Bobby
Green. Bobby Green.
Brown.
Bobby Brown. Whatever. But yeah, Bobby whatever.
Black fella anyway.
Yeah.
He got hammer fists.
Yeah, he kind of wrapped. He wrapped his foot at his neck.
And he was kind of up on it like a. Not underneath the
No.
guard, but he was kind of side. Guard is weird.
He hammer fisted the chin on.
From a fucking super weird angle.
Yeah,
and he knocked him out.
Yeah, it was great.
Gone.
Like,
KO'd.
But Cerrone won't let him get.
What was the fight? Was that your man Joban, the up kick?
Oh, the leg kick.
The leg. Remember your man Joban was over him trying to rain down. Was it Joban? Was it?
No, I don't think so.
Who was he fighting?
God, I can't remember.
Fuck.
It was Joban was the leg kick, and he came
Leg
over
kick, sorry,
with the overhand right and knocked him
Straight down the pipe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The overhand right
and
straight,
that was nice.
Joban,
and people are like, oh, the ref stopped it too early. I don't think so.
I was done.
Joban was doing the chicken dance. There was no like he was like bark. Like there was no
like Bambi on ice.
Yeah, he was gone.
He was going nowhere.
And people are like, oh, the ref shouldn't have started. Shut up. Shut your face.
Bollocks,
that's idiots. Like, you need to realise they have a family. They're fighting to feed their family or fighting to help their family.
And
they need to go home at the end of the day.
Go home.
So when the ref jumps in, the ref is more experienced. Well, should be more experienced than any was talking about.
Although I will say that there has been, obviously we're not talking about Herb Dane, but there has been some stupid.
What's your man Yamazaki?
He's doing that stupid hair.
Oh yeah, look his own.
Look his own. Mario Yamazaki.
Yeah, him. He's an idiot. There's a few fights I watch him and I'm like, why? How are you even still refereeing? Like,
stop that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Remember David Dana ripped him a new arsehole?
Yeah, David Dana always does that. It wasn't a Kobe who calls him Uncle Fester, Dana.
I forgot about that. Right, folks, we're experiencing some technical difficulties, so we'll be right back. And welcome back there, folks. Very, very sorry about that. We experienced some technical difficulties. The mic has been an absolute gang of fucking ticks. It's a new mic, so you know yourself. Fuck Amazon and all the fucking cunts that ride on the horses, and that sounded cunty McKinte.
Yeah, so we go on to the.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we go on to the
we finish out the fight picks.
We'll pick from the main card. We'll do the fight pick from the main card.
We'll just do the main and the co-main.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Donald Cerrone or Nico Price?
Me.
That's what it was. We were talking about the last few fights Nico Price was in.
Yeah.
That's what it was. We were talking about that. Yeah.
He's good, but I love Donald Cerrone. I think he's.
I'm gonna back Donald.
Yeah, I'm kind of. After seeing Nico's last few fights, it's kind of a bit like.
He has some hands on him.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Cerrone.
All I have to say is Donald want to be careful throwing that head kick.
But if you're a betting man, Nico Price might be good odds. So,
if you're a betting man. You know, but I'm gonna go with my man Donald Cerrone. And what about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
So
with
we
Cerrone.
both go with Cerrone.
I called Cerrone armbar.
Oh, so you're what round?
Second.
I was gonna go by decision.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna go to decision.
It's gonna go that far.
It might do.
And if it does, it'll be either that or a stoppage in the late rounds.
If Cerrone doesn't armbar him, I'd say I'd say it'll go the full.
Now, what's the story now? Because it's co-main, are they doing 3 or 5 rounds?
I think they changed it to 3, didn't they, for the co-main?
I think it's just 3 rounds for the co-main. I know it's 5 rounds for the main.
Sometimes it does be. Other times it does be 5. But come here, if it's 5, it's going to be a really interesting fight.
Oh yeah, it could be the difference between the winner or loss.
Yeah, I actually hope Cerrone shows up. The
actual Donald Cerrone.
That's how. If he shows up, he's gone within 2 rounds.
100%.
But we move on to the. Actually, before we move on, I want to just say about Cerrone. You know, if Cerrone shows up that Thor McGregor, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
This is his. He's not a journeyman.
He's not.
No, and if
people are labeling him as a journeyman, but he's not.
But if he loses this, they're gonna label him as a journeyman, and I don't agree with that because
it's unfair.
Look at his records. Like I think it's the most head kicks,
kick KOs,
in UFC history.
Because I know McGregor spouted about it after he shouldered him.
Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong, it's not
that they do hurt.
Oh, 100%. Listen, especially when you're not expecting them.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into the eye socket and the nose and whatever else.
He broke his nose, so he probably was threw off by.
I was, and then he whacked him with the left head kick.
But see, everyone talks about.
Was it a left head kick? Wasn't it a left head?
I think so.
I think it was a left. Yeah. Anyway.
Everyone talks about the shoulders. What about in the first few seconds of the round when Donald Cerrone's head collides with his thigh?
Yeah.
That probably knocked him back for
if you actually, because that happened so quick though. That not an awful lot of people noticed that though.
Yeah, but see, if you look at it like that, you could say, well, that's probably it. That could be it too.
That was that, and then it was snowballed on top of that with the shoulders.
Them shoulders were he was lunging into them.
Unorthodox but effective.
Yeah,
I've never before that fight.
Someone else have.
I know it's been done. I know it has been done, but I've never seen them. Personally,
I'm trying to think of who.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but someone has done it.
I was after the fight. I heard, that was done before. It was such a fight, and whatever it was.
It wasn't DC, was it? I don't think so.
Oh, no. I'm not going to start thinking who it was because you're going to get people out there just going to shit all over. You will. It was your man, that other fella. Whatever. All in the comments slating us.
Right, so on to the main event,
Covington and Tyron.
Woodley. I think Tyron Woodley is going to steamroll him.
I want him to.
He's going to. I can say the first few seconds of the first round, overhand right, bang.
And by the way, we're not just agreeing with each other just for the sake of agreeing with each other. There is going to be times where we're going to disagree, and I know it's probably going to make for some interesting listening. But for right now, the fights we just happen to pick, we both agree on. We're not just being yes men to each other here. By the way.
Yeah, and
so I'll put that out there.
Don't get me wrong. Don't underestimate Kobe. Like
no.
Come here. If Tyron Woodley wins this, he's next in line. He definitely has to be.
For the welterweight.
It's number 2 and number 5.
Yeah.
So,
I think the winner of this should fight Masvidal.
Yeah. Actually, that's.
I'm not saying all BMF, but just that's
the talk now, isn't it?
That's all the BMF title, isn't it?
No, you're talking about defending it and stuff.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna do that, it's gonna be a bit like boxing, isn't it? Where there's so many belts and.
But he's saying, Masvidal is saying, he's not going to defend it against everyone because he's saying they also have to bring something to the table, so it will give him a reason to defend because he has a role to lose.
Do you know who I want to see Masvidal fight? Leon Edwards.
Oh,
3-piece Minnesota.
3-piece. Boom, boom.
That's another one that I want to see, and that's one that I think most people want to see. Leon Edwards, he's not getting,
especially backstage after the Till fight.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Over in England.
But see, Leon Edwards, he's not getting the recognition that he should be getting.
I mean, he should be. To be fair, he should be getting the recognition.
But see how easily if you look, I'm going a bit off here. But
no.
Look at Corey Anderson.
Yeah. That's
he was on a run. He was on a tear, and then he got beaten. And now he's not even with the UFC anymore.
He's in Bellator now.
I think he went to Bellator.
I think I've seen something. He went to Bellator, and to be honest with you, I don't blame him.
No, not really. Boy, he was knocked out in his last one.
I know, but so was the way, isn't it?
Was it your man, the Polish fella?
Jan Blachowicz, was it?
Yeah. I think I might have been him. Yeah. But anyway, I think Tyron's going to steamroll Kobe.
Okay, so we have that.
If he doesn't,
alright,
Kobe it's gonna go to decision, and he's gonna maul him.
He's gonna lay and pray.
But yeah,
that's all he's gonna do.
That's
his background is wrestling, so he's gonna lay and pray.
But then again, isn't Woodley's background wrestling too?
Do you remember that Darce choke against Hill?
Yeah.
When Woodley was the welterweight champ.
Yeah, that's
just saying. That's so
Till's a different beast, isn't he?
Ah, yeah.
He's at middleweight now.
Was it the vanilla gorilla or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He's at middleweight now, so that's.
He's at that best weight for himself anyway, because he was outgrown welterweight in fairness.
Ah, yeah, he was skinny fat, wasn't he?
He's skinny fat. Skinny fat.
Yeah, he was good though.
Listen,
he went on a tear. I think after that knockout from Masvidal, that broke his confidence.
He did,
and he's only regaining that now. Come here, the fight against Whittaker. That was a chess match and a half.
Loved it.
That was. But I think if Till had thrown 5 or 6 more punches, he would have won it.
Yeah, easy.
He every time.
Super close. Yeah.
Every time Whittaker threw the overhand right, Till would slip it, but he wasn't countering him.
Yeah.
And if I'm right, I think Till actually dropped Whittaker.
At one stage.
I think he might have. Now I could be wrong, but I'm sure he might. Yeah. I'm sure he dropped him once. I have a high hair. Sure.
3 times the lead.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Till is great, and who did Till? I seen it last week. Till called out someone at welterweight.
Oh fuck!
I can't remember who it was.
Oh fuck! I know. I remember before that you were having a bit of a Twitter beef. Not even a Twitter beef, but
Mike
just
that's all you
Mike
got.
Perry. That. Yeah. Come here, listen.
Snapjank.
He's the men in the white jackets are waiting for him with a straight jacket with his name on it.
Yeah, he's not right.
He
needs help, and I think the UFC should step in and give him some sort of help.
Come here, listen. He's back to what we said earlier about mental health. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he's just that the rant after his recent I don't know if it was his last fight
about the taxes and paying tax back to the government.
When his girlfriend cornered him. That was car crash. That was.
You're doing great, baby.
Oh, you're doing great. Oh yeah, go on. Yeah, let me put the ice in your back. She didn't even put the ice on my back. He just told me you were doing great, you stupid fuck. But then again, I shouldn't have said stupid fuck there. But watch all the.
That's what we do.
All the little feminists. Slagging a woman. Shut up, I'll slag you as well. Anyone writes that under the comments and I'm gonna reply to this and slag us all. Sorry.
Calm down.
They're out there, yeah. I'm not really messing up.
No, it's grand. That's what we do here. We don't edit stuff out. We are out loud and proud and not in that way either. Swiftly moving on, we have a thing called story time.
You do indeed.
Would you like to take it away, Darren?
Yeah, there's this bloke, me, Danny, and fella Mick here is at the start of the podcast.
Our good friend of the podcast, Mick.
But anyway, it was a kid years ago. I didn't.
Right, okay, I'm going to give you a bit of background. All 3 of us were invited down to his house to watch like a boxing pay-per-view. I think it was actually David Hay against Klitschko. Actually, that time it was David Hay Klitschko fight, and this friend of mine at the time, former friend, invited us down to his house, and we'd had a couple of drinks, and it was the end of it anyway, and I was tired. I was just fed up. I was absolutely fed up. I just wanted to go to sleep, and he insisted on showing us tricks that you can do with his dog, right? And I'm just there, kill me now, like. I'm about 2 seconds away from telling this cunt to smell my helmet, but it's his gaff, so I can't.
You're about 2 seconds away of putting him through his own floor.
Choke slam through his kitchen table.
Me and Mick was standing there and we were looking at each other, and I was dying to laugh, but I couldn't help it, right? But first of all, I'll go into it now first of all, right, he's like, hey Brucey, come on now Bruce, get me slippers. Bruce, sit down. Oh yes Brucey, I love when you do that. Right, that's only short, he's only short of massaging the dog's fucking head, like, do you know what I mean? And
he was rubbing the dog's neck.
Yeah, like putting the tail to the side. I leave that to your imagination.
Stop that.
Yeah, no.
That's bestiality.
But it was funny because he thought these tricks were great.
Super deadly.
Don't get me wrong, I was impressed, but like I wasn't. I couldn't help but look at Danny's face. It was really like just stop. I just want to go. Stop that. But anyway, right.
I think that's what made it more funny. It was my face,
and it was the voice. It was Bruce. It was like, Brucey, now Bruce, sit down. Bruce, good boy. Bruce, get me slippers. Oh, that's it, Brucey. But anyway,
yeah,
it was creepy.
It was super creepy,
right? But what made it even more weird was me, right? He wanted me to go into this back room. That wasn't happening. Not even a sheet on the bed, and it was.
Bed wasn't even made up. He invited us down to his house, and it was literally just his own bed and one other bed made up.
Don't get me wrong,
sleeping
we're
in.
not shiting on him or anything. Well, he's
He was the way I look at it is he was good enough to invite us down, but there was some stuff that that I heard and that was also said about us afterwards that I wasn't very, very happy about. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, so but fuck him anyway. But
No names, no scandal, whatever.
Yeah.
But to those who know, and those who don't know, you'll never know.
Yeah, Bruce is deadly. But me and Mick I ended up sharing the bed with Mick. We were like two big kids, right? And we all
These are bad as each other.
Yeah. And he comes into the room, right? And this is the nice. The bed was made lovely, and I was like to Mick, is this where you were meant to be staying? He's like, yeah, I think so. And then your man come into the room and he's like, all right, lads.
It was like, do you remember your man of Father Ted, where Father Ted's old mate from college comes in and his jocks, there's the lads.
And he's like, all right, lads, yeah.
Creepy.
He's all right in there, and we were like, yeah, grand. And then me and Mick actually thought we were in his bed and we pissing ourselves laughing, and I just couldn't stop. It was a good time.
Because we were out having a few drinks and whatever.
But that's all for now.
And that's all for now, is it? Okay, well, come here, folks. It's been eventful. It's been super deadly rap and all, and this has been
the first
episode of the Smell Me Helmet podcast. My name is Danny, and this is my co-host
Darren,
and Slán Latin all that. Peace, love, and all that jazz.
and like and subscribe.
Oh yes, don't forget to like. I was gonna say share, and subscribe, because we're also gonna be we also have a YouTube channel which this episode will be uploaded onto, and it will be uploaded onto Instagram, and we're gonna be putting on Facebook too, and Twitter as well. Anyway, sweet love.
And God bless you all.
Anyway, good night and God bless, folks.
God is love.
It's the Smell Me